Villanova beat UCONN by 2 last year, but that was in Philadelphia. Can they do the same up in Connecticut? Hey, how are you folks? Jason Horowitz. Glad to be with you here on CBSSports.com. It's In the Paint, and of course that means Bill Raftery joining me here from West Palm Beach to break down this game of top 25 teams in the Big East, Villanova and UCONN. And Bill, let's start with Villanova. And when you talk about this team, you talk about Dante Cunningham getting better, but they still have a lack of size compared to a UCONN. So how do they handle that?
Wow, he can't play 8 guards. I think Jay would do it if he could. Well, I'm waiting to see what he wears. Of course, those 7-button suits are still in vogue. So he's always intriguing on the sideline. But what he's been able to do with mirrors, they're not a great team up front. By that, the size is definitely a problem. But you mentioned Cunningham. He's one of the most improved players in the Onawaku from Syracuse is another one of those guys that just kept working, getting better. Now, of course, the one thing about Cunningham is he can take his game to that foul area and make the jump shot too, so he can drag a big away, which certainly will help driving lanes with the beat inside. But Scottie Reynolds is going to have good numbers. Fisher's going to have to be solid. Stokes is going to have to be solid, and everybody's going to have to gang rebound because they just can't compete on the glass. They're limited up front, but what they do is they change defenses, pressure points on the floor. They just eliminate some situations when you're small that are at a disadvantage. They're a very bright team, and they get a lot of mileage out of little guys.
Yeah, and they're physical, especially in the backcourt, and that's what A.J. Price chalked up last year's loss to when he went 6 of 22. But you mentioned the guards for Villanova. Guards for UCONN, Bill, they're just as good.
Oh, they're very talented. You have some numbers about their ability to make threes, some in the 40s, some in the 30s. You got Dyson coming in off the bench. Walker's an outstanding looking prospect. And the aforementioned A.J. Price is a guy that, he's a solid playmaker, and yet he's a scoring playmaker, that combo type guard that we see so much of lately. But I think this game's going to be won inside with power. Adrian's got to be a force. Robinson's got to be a force. The beat also a guy that they need him on the floor to anchor the inside defense. And the big thing, if they play 2-3 zone, he flattens out. The middle of the zone is going to be open. The other end of it, if they do play man, you can see Cunningham, if that's the matchup, taking him away from the rim, getting involved in ball screen, slip situations, and that's very tough for the big guy. He doesn't have that type of coverage. So this will be fun to watch as each coach tries to employ their strength versus somebody else's weakness.
Bill, as a former coach yourself, how big is confidence for these kids at Villanova knowing that they beat pretty much the same UCONN team last year?
Yeah, I think it's game to game in leagues because the kids just say, when you happen to beat our team and you got away with something, that's the way they all attack it. So, but it's a comfort zone of sorts, but once it goes up, I think it's all eliminated because strategies change, matchups change, vibes change. You're not making shots. They've taken away a strength, and it's how you respond to that situation that ultimately decides who's going to win the game.
All right, Bill Raftery, thank you very much for your thoughts on the game. We'll see you soon.
All right, Chase, thanks.
All right, folks, for more on this game, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com or get previews of other games here on the website as well. For Bill Raftery, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.